I woke up to my phone screaming at 2 a.m. Not vibrating. Not buzzing gently on the nightstand. Screaming. My mother's name flashed across the screen like a warning sign I should have heeded years ago. I stared at it for 3 full rings, my heart already sinking before I even answered. Because I knew. I knew this wasn't a normal call. Normal families don't call at 2 a.m. unless someone's dead. And even then, my family wouldn't call me first. I swiped to answer, my voice thick with sleep. Hello. Emma. My mother's voice came through like a siren, shrill and desperate. Emma, thank God you answered. Your brother is in the hospital. He's hurt badly. We need $15,000 right now or they won't treat him properly. He'll suffer through the night. Please, Emma. Please. I sat up slowly, the fog of sleep clearing instantly. $15,000. At 2 a.m. For my brother. The same brother who hadn't spoken to me in 3 years. The same brother who told me I was dead to him when I refused to pay for his wedding. The same brother who called me selfish when I bought my own apartment instead of helping him with his down payment. I could hear my father's voice in the background, urgent and panicked. Tell her we'll pay her back. Tell her it's life or death. Life or death. How many times had I heard that phrase from them? When they needed money for my sister's car. When they needed money for my brother's business idea. When they needed money for the family vacation I wasn't even invited to. Always life or death. Never just honesty. I took a breath, my hand surprisingly steady as I held the phone. Call your precious daughter, I said, my voice calm and cold. Then I hung up. And I turned off my phone. And I went back to sleep. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like this video and watch till the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. Not from my parents. From the police station. That's when I knew something had actually happened. Something real. Something that would change everything I thought I knew about my family. Let me back up. Let me tell you how I became the daughter they only called when they needed money. Let me tell you how I became invisible until I was useful. My name is Emma Catherine Rivers, and I spent 28 years trying to earn love from people who only ever saw me as a wallet. I was the middle child. The one nobody really noticed. My older sister, Rebecca, was beautiful, charming, the golden child who could do no wrong. My younger brother, Daniel, was the baby, the boy, the heir to the family name even though we lived in a 2-bedroom rental and had no dynasty to inherit. And then there was me. Average height, average looks, average grades. Not bad enough to worry about. Not good enough to celebrate. Just there. I learned early that love in my family was conditional. It was performance-based. You had to earn it. Rebecca earned it by being pretty and sociable. Daniel earned it by being male and helpless. I tried to earn it by being useful. I started working at 14, babysitting the neighbors' kids. I gave my first paycheck to my mother. $80. She smiled at me for the first time in months. You're such a good girl, Emma. I chased that smile for the next decade. I worked through high school, saving every penny, giving half to my parents for household expenses even though Rebecca never contributed a dime and Daniel was too young. When I graduated, I didn't go to the college I wanted. I went to community college and worked full-time at a call center. I lived at home. I paid rent. Rebecca was at State University, fully funded by our parents' savings and student loans they took out in their name. Daniel got a car for his 16th birthday. I got a card that said congratulations on your promotion when I became a shift supervisor. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I was investing in my family. I told myself that one day, they'd see how much I sacrificed. They'd appreciate me. They'd love me the way they loved Rebecca and Daniel. But that day never came. Instead, the requests started coming faster. Emma, can you help with the electric bill? Just this once. Emma, Rebecca needs money for sorority dues. Emma, Daniel's car broke down. Can you cover the repairs? Emma, we're short on the mortgage. Just a loan. We'll pay you back. They never paid me back. Not once. I kept a notebook for the first few years, writing down every dollar I gave them. It reached $43,000 before I stopped counting. That was when I was 24. I stopped counting because the number made me sick. Because I realized I'd given them enough money to have paid off my own student loans twice over. Enough to have moved out years ago. Enough to have started the life I actually wanted. But I didn't stop giving. I just stopped tracking. Because I still believed. I still believed that if I just gave a little more, sacrificed a little longer, they'd finally see me. They'd finally choose me. Then came the incident that changed everything. Daniel's wedding. He was 23, marrying his college girlfriend, a sweet girl named Michelle who came from money. Her parents were paying for most of the wedding, but Daniel wanted it to be bigger. Fancier. More impressive. He asked me to contribute $10,000. Not asked. Expected. You're doing well now, my mother said over Sunday dinner. You have that good job. You don't have kids or a husband to spend money on. It would mean so much to your brother. I'd just bought my apartment. A small one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. It had taken me 3 years to save the down payment. 3 years of living with roommates, eating ramen, taking the bus instead of buying a car. It was mine. The first thing that was ever really mine. I can't, I said quietly. I just bought my place. I don't have that kind of money right now. The silence at the table was deafening. My father set down his fork. You bought an apartment. Yes. I closed last month. Without telling us. I didn't think you didn't think we'd want to know? My mother's voice was sharp. You didn't think we'd want to celebrate with you? But they weren't asking to celebrate. They were angry that I'd spent my money on myself. You could have waited, my father said. You could have waited a few more years. Helped your brother first. I'm 26 years old, I said, my voice shaking. I've been waiting my whole life. Rebecca, who'd been silent until then, spoke up. That's really selfish, Emma. This is Daniel's wedding. He's only getting married once. Hopefully, I muttered. What was that? My mother's eyes narrowed. Nothing. Daniel pushed back from the table, his face red. I can't believe you. After everything Mom and Dad have done for you. Everything they've done for me. I looked around the table. Like what? What have they done for me that they haven't done 10 times over for you too? They gave you a place to live, Rebecca snapped. I paid rent. They raised you. That's called being a parent. They loved you. The words hit me like a slap. Loved. Past tense. You know what? I stood up, my hands trembling. Keep your love. I'm done buying it. I walked out. I expected someone to follow me. No one did. I expected a phone call later that night. An apology. Some acknowledgement that they'd hurt me. Nothing. 3 days later, I got a text from Daniel. You're dead to me. Don't come to my wedding. Don't contact me again. You've shown your true colors. I cried for a week. Then I got angry. Then I got clear. I blocked all of them. I changed my number. I moved forward with my life. And for 3 years, I was free. I got promoted twice. I started seeing a therapist who helped me understand that I'd been conditioned to confuse usefulness with love. I made real friends who liked me for who I was, not what I could provide. I started dating. I learned what healthy relationships looked like. I healed. Or at least, I thought I had. Until that phone call at 2 a.m. Until I hung up on my mother's desperate voice. Until I woke up to 17 missed calls from the police station. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my phone screen, my coffee growing cold on the nightstand. The most recent voicemail was from a detective, Sarah Chen. Her voice was professional but concerned. Ms. Rivers, this is Detective Chen with the county police. We need you to call us back regarding your brother, Daniel Rivers. It's urgent. Please contact us as soon as possible. My hands shook as I dialed the number. She answered on the first ring. Detective Chen. This is Emma Rivers. You called about my brother. Ms. Rivers, thank you for calling back. I need to ask you some questions about last night. Can you tell me about the phone call you received from your parents around 2 a.m.? My stomach dropped. How do you know about that? Your mother mentioned it. Can you tell me what they said? I recounted the conversation, my voice mechanical. $15,000. Hospital. Life or death. And you hung up. Yes. Did you send the money? No. There was a pause. Ms. Rivers, I need to inform you that your brother wasn't in the hospital last night. The room tilted. What? Your brother was here. At the police station. He was arrested at 11 p.m. yesterday for a DUI. His blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. He crashed his car into a telephone pole. No one else was hurt, but he sustained minor injuries. I don't understand. Your parents were trying to bail him out. The bail was set at $15,000. When they couldn't come up with the money, they apparently called you. They lied. The words came out flat. They lied about him being in the hospital. It appears so. Why are you calling me? Why does this involve me? Another pause. This one longer. Ms. Rivers, your brother is claiming that you have access to his bank accounts. He's stating that you've been financially supporting him for years and that you're refusing to help him now out of spite. Your mother is corroborating this story. They're suggesting that you're partially responsible for his situation because you've allegedly been enabling his behavior. I laughed. I actually laughed. It came out harsh and broken. I haven't spoken to my brother in 3 years. I don't have access to any of his accounts. I haven't given him a penny since before his wedding. His wedding that you didn't attend? That I wasn't invited to. I see. Detective Chen's voice softened. Ms. Rivers, I'm going to be straight with you. Your brother is in serious trouble. This is his 3rd DUI. He's looking at jail time. Your parents they're not handling it well. Your mother has called here 14 times since 6 a.m. She's demanding we release him. She's threatening to sue the department. She's making claims about police brutality that aren't supported by any evidence. That sounds like her. She gave us your number. She said you're a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a financial analyst. She said you have connections. I don't. She said you owe the family. My jaw clenched. I don't owe them anything. I believe you. Detective Chen sighed. Look, I'm calling as a courtesy. I wanted you to know what's happening before your family shows up at your door. And to tell you that you're not obligated to help. Despite what they might say or threaten, you're not legally or morally required to bail out an adult brother who made dangerous choices. Thank you. Also, Ms. Rivers, your brother mentioned something else. He said that if you don't help him, your father knows where you work. He said your mother has been saving your address. He implied they'd make things difficult for you. My blood ran cold. Are they threatening me? Not explicitly. But I wanted you to be aware. If they do contact you and you feel unsafe, please call us. I hung up and sat in silence for a long time. My brother was in jail. My parents had lied to me. They tried to manipulate me. And when that didn't work, they'd thrown me under the bus to the police. They'd claimed I was responsible for my brother's alcoholism. That I'd been enabling him. That I owed them. Even now. Even after 3 years of silence. They still saw me as a resource. A problem solver. A wallet. I should have felt vindicated. I should have felt justified in hanging up. Instead, I felt sad. Sad that they'd learned nothing. Sad that they still couldn't see me as a person. Sad that after everything, they'd rather lie to the police than admit their golden boy had a problem they couldn't fix with my money. I got ready for work mechanically. I made breakfast I didn't eat. I drove to the office on autopilot. My coworker, Lisa, took one look at me and dragged me into the break room. What happened? I told her everything. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "You know they're going to show up, right?" Maybe. Not maybe. Definitely. People like that don't take no for an answer. I'll deal with it. Will you? I looked at her. What do you mean? Emma, I've known you for 4 years. You're strong. You're capable. But when it comes to your family, you still have this look in your eyes like you're waiting for them to finally love you. Her words hit harder than my mother's voice at 2 a.m. Because she was right. Some small, pathetic part of me was still waiting. Still hoping. Still believing that maybe this time, if I said the right thing or set the right boundary, they'd finally see me. I need to let that go, I said quietly. Yeah. You do. They showed up at my office at 2 p.m. Both of them. My mother and father. Security called my extension. Ms. Rivers, there are 2 people here claiming to be your parents. They're insisting on seeing you. Should I send them up? I closed my eyes. No. Tell them I'm not available. They're getting upset. They're saying it's an emergency. It's not. If they won't leave, call the police. Are you sure? I'm sure. I hung up and tried to focus on my work. 5 minutes later, my personal cell phone rang. My mother. I didn't answer. She called again. And again. On the 4th call, I answered. Stop calling my work. Emma. Thank God. Security won't let us up. We need to talk to you. It's about your brother. I know about Daniel. The police called me. Then you know he needs help. He needs a lawyer and a good AA program. He needs bail money. No. Emma, no. You don't understand. He could lose everything. His job. His house. Michelle might leave him. That's his problem. He's your brother. He told me I was dead to him. He meant it. I'm respecting his wishes. My mother's voice changed. Became harder. Colder. I knew you'd be like this. Vindictive. Petty. You've always been jealous of Daniel. I'm hanging up now. If you hang up, don't ever expect to hear from us again. I paused. Not because I was reconsidering, but because I wanted to remember this moment. The moment I finally chose myself. Goodbye, Mom. I blocked her number. Then my father's. Then Rebecca's, even though she hadn't called. I sat back in my chair, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. But I felt lighter. For the first time in my life, I felt light. That lightness lasted about 6 hours. Until I got home and found my mother sitting on the steps outside my apartment building. She looked smaller than I remembered. Older. Her hair had more gray in it. Her face was lined with stress and age and something that might have been regret if I let myself believe in it. Emma. How did you get my address? Rebecca had it. Of course she did. Can we talk? Please. Just 5 minutes. I should have said no. I should have walked past her, gone inside, locked the door. But I didn't. I sat down next to her on the cold concrete steps. Not close enough to touch. But close enough to hear. Say what you came to say. She twisted her purse strap between her fingers, a nervous gesture I remembered from childhood. I'm sorry. The words hung in the air between us. Sorry for what, specifically? For lying last night. For scaring you. For making you think Daniel was hurt when he wasn't. What else? She looked at me, confused. What? What else are you sorry for? Because if that's the only thing, we're done here. Emma, you lied to me last night. But you've been lying to me my whole life, haven't you? You told me you loved me while treating me like an ATM. You told me I was part of the family while making it clear I was only valuable when I was useful. You told me I was being selfish when I finally put myself first. That's not fair. Isn't it? She was quiet for a long moment. I did the best I could. No, you didn't. You did the easiest thing. You parentified me. You made me responsible for everyone else's happiness while ignoring mine. You let Rebecca and Daniel take and take and take while I gave and gave and gave. And when I finally had nothing left to give, you threw me away. We didn't throw you away. You didn't call me for 3 years. You changed your number. After Daniel told me I was dead to him. After none of you defended me. After you all chose his wedding over our relationship. It wasn't about choosing. Yes, it was. It's always been about choosing. And you've never chosen me. My mother started crying. I waited for the familiar guilt to wash over me, the instinct to comfort her, to apologize, to make it better. It didn't come. Daniel is in real trouble, she said through her tears. This isn't like before. He could go to jail. He could lose everything. I heard. Don't you care? I care that he could have killed someone. I care that this is his third DUI. I care that instead of getting him help after the first one, you all probably made excuses for him. But do I care enough to bail him out? No. He's your brother. He stopped being my brother when he decided I wasn't his sister. You're being cruel. I laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. I'm being cruel? Mom, you called me at 2 a.m. and lied to me. You told me he was in the hospital. You made me think he was hurt, suffering, in pain. You used my love against me. You weaponized the tiny part of me that still cares about this family. And you did it without hesitation. Without guilt. Because you've never seen me as a person. I'm just a solution to your problems. That's not true. Then tell me something about me. Something real. Something that has nothing to do with money or helping the family. Tell me my favorite color. My favorite food. What I wanted to be when I grew up. What scares me. What makes me happy. She stared at me, her mouth opening and closing. She couldn't. She didn't know. That's what I thought. I stood up. Emma, please. I'll give you one thing. One piece of advice, for free. Get Daniel into rehab. Sell the house if you have to. Take out a loan. Ask Rebecca for money for once. But get him real help. Not bail. Not a lawyer who'll get him off. Actual treatment. Because if you don't, the next call won't be from the police station. It'll be from the morgue. I walked into my building and didn't look back. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I felt guilty, but because I felt free. Free and terrified and exhilarated all at once. I'd spent 28 years tied to people who didn't see me. And in one day, I'd cut the rope. I expected to feel grief. Instead, I felt possibility. At 3 a.m., I got up and made tea. I sat by my window, looking out at the city lights. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Michelle. Daniel's wife. Can we talk? I stared at the message for a long time. Then I called her. She answered immediately. Emma. Yeah. Thank you for calling. I wasn't sure you would. What do you want? To talk. To apologize. To tell you things I should have said 3 years ago. I'm listening. Michelle took a shaky breath. I knew. About the wedding money. About Daniel asking you and you saying no. About your family cutting you out. Okay. I told Daniel he was wrong. I told him you didn't owe us anything. I told him we should have stood up for you. But you didn't. No. I didn't. Because I was a coward. Because I wanted his family to like me. Because I was young and stupid and I thought family loyalty meant going along with whatever they wanted. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm leaving him. The words hung heavy in the air. You're leaving Daniel. Yes. This DUI was the last straw. But honestly, it's been coming for a long time. Your family is toxic, Emma. They've enabled his drinking for years. They've made excuses for his temper. They've blamed everyone but him for every problem he's had. And I've watched him turn into a bitter, entitled man who thinks the world owes him something. I'm sorry. Don't be. You got out. You were smart. I'm just 3 years late. What happens now? I'm filing for divorce. I'm moving back to my parents' house. And I wanted to call you because you deserve to know that you were right. About everything. And because I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you when I should have. Thank you for saying that. Your parents are telling people you're the reason Daniel got arrested. They're saying you refused to help because you're vindictive. They're painting you as the villain. I know. You don't care. I used to. I used to care so much what people thought of me. What they said. Whether they liked me. But I'm tired, Michelle. I'm tired of trying to control narratives I'm not even part of. Let them say what they want. The people who matter know the truth. You sound different. I feel different. Good. You deserve to feel free. We talked for another hour. She told me about Daniel's drinking. How it had progressed from weekend beers to daily vodka. How he'd lost his job 6 months ago and hadn't told his parents. How they'd been living on her salary and his unemployment. How he'd totaled 2 cars before this one. How his parents always bailed him out, literally and figuratively. She told me about Rebecca, too. How she'd gotten engaged to a man she barely knew. How she was already planning another expensive wedding. How she'd called Michelle asking if Emma might contribute since she did so well now. We laughed at that. Dark, bitter laughter. But laughter nonetheless. Do you think they'll ever change? Michelle asked. No. People like that don't change. They just find new people to use. That's sad. It is. But it's not my problem anymore. Good for you, Emma. Seriously. We hung up, and I felt something shift inside me. Michelle's call wasn't about reconciliation. It was about validation. About confirmation that I hadn't been crazy or oversensitive or wrong. I'd been right to leave. Right to protect myself. Right to say no. The next morning, I woke up to a Facebook message. From Rebecca. We need to talk about what you're doing to this family. I deleted it without responding. Then I deactivated my Facebook account. I went to work. I had lunch with Lisa. I had a normal, peaceful day. Until my boss called me into his office at 4 p.m. Emma, we need to discuss something. My heart sank. Okay. I received a call this morning from someone claiming to be your mother. She said you've been embezzling money from the company. She said she has proof. She demanded I investigate you immediately or she'd go to the media. The room spun. What? I told her we have extensive financial controls and that if she had evidence of a crime, she should report it to the police. She hung up. I haven't, I would never, I know. He held up his hand. I've reviewed your accounts personally. Every transaction is documented and clean. You're one of our most trustworthy employees. But I needed to tell you because this is serious, Emma. False accusations like this can damage careers even when they're proven false. She's trying to ruin my life. It appears so. What do I do? Document everything. Every call, every message, every interaction. If she contacts the company again, we'll refer her to our legal team. If she contacts you, don't engage. And consider getting a restraining order. I left his office shaking. This was beyond money. Beyond disappointment. This was sabotage. My mother was actively trying to destroy me. I called Detective Chen. She listened to everything. The office visit. The confrontation at my apartment. The call to my employer. Ms. Rivers, this constitutes harassment. You can file for a restraining order. I'll support your application with documentation of their behavior. What about Daniel? He's still in custody. His bail hearing is tomorrow. Unless someone posts bail, he'll remain there until trial. Good. Your parents are claiming they're being discriminated against. They've filed complaints against 3 different officers. They've called the mayor's office. Let me guess. They're saying I have connections and I'm using them to keep Daniel in jail. How did you know? Because that's what they do. They create narratives where they're always the victims and someone else is always the villain. For what it's worth, no one here believes them. Thank you. I hung up and sat in my car in the parking garage. I should have felt angry. Instead, I felt nothing. No. Not nothing. I felt clear. Crystal clear. This was who they were. This was who they'd always been. And I was finally, truly done. I filed for the restraining order that afternoon. Against both of my parents. The hearing was set for a week later. In the meantime, my mother left me 47 voicemails. I saved them all. Evidence. She called my work 12 more times. HR documented each call. She posted on Facebook that I'd abandoned my family in their time of need. I screenshot it. She sent me emails ranging from desperate pleas to vicious attacks. I forwarded them to my lawyer. Yes, I got a lawyer. A good one. Someone Lisa recommended. Someone who specialized in family law and harassment cases. Her name was Victoria, and she was everything I needed. Sharp. No nonsense. Unimpressed by my mother's theatrics. Your family is textbook, she said at our first meeting. Narcissistic dynamics with a scapegoat child. You've been cast as the family problem when in reality, you're the healthiest one there. Is that common? More than you'd think. The person who sets boundaries is often villainized by the family system because boundaries threaten the dysfunction everyone else is invested in maintaining. What should I expect? Escalation before it gets better. Your mother will likely increase her efforts to regain control. She might recruit others, extended family, family friends, church members if you're religious. She'll try to paint you as mentally unstable, cruel, vindictive. She'll make herself the victim. She's already doing that. Good. Let her. Every voicemail, every email, every public post builds your case. She's documenting her own harassment. The restraining order hearing was surreal. My parents showed up in their Sunday best. My mother cried on the stand. She told the judge I'd been a troubled child. That I'd always been jealous of my siblings. That I'd stolen from the family. That I'd abandoned them in their darkest hour. My lawyer presented the evidence. 47 voicemails. 12 documented calls to my employer. The Facebook posts. The emails. The police report from the officer at my office building. The judge listened to everything. Then he looked at my mother. Your daughter is under no legal obligation to give you money. Your son is an adult facing consequences for his own actions. Your attempts to harass Ms. Rivers at her home and workplace constitute a pattern of behavior that this court takes seriously. But she's my daughter, that doesn't give you the right to threaten her livelihood or peace of mind. The restraining order is granted. You and your husband are to have no contact with Ms. Rivers for a period of 1 year. No calls, no texts, no emails, no social media contact, no third-party contact. If you violate this order, you'll be held in contempt of court. Do you understand? My mother sobbed. My father looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Not anger. Not disappointment. Fear. They were scared of me. Of my boundaries. Of my refusal to play my role anymore. Outside the courtroom, Victoria smiled. You did it. I don't feel victorious. You're not supposed to. This isn't about winning. It's about safety. Will they actually stay away? For now. The threat of jail time is usually enough. But stay vigilant. Document any violations. And Emma. Yeah. Be proud of yourself. Most people never get this far. I went home that night and cried. Not sad tears. Relief tears. Exhausted tears. Tears that had been waiting 28 years to fall. I cried for the little girl who thought she wasn't good enough. For the teenager who worked herself to exhaustion trying to buy love. For the young woman who gave away her dreams because she thought that was what family meant. And I cried for the woman I was becoming. The one who knew her worth. The one who chose herself. The one who understood that family was supposed to be a safe place, not a prison. 2 weeks after the restraining order was granted, I got a call from Michelle. The divorce is final. How do you feel? Free. Scared. But free. I know that feeling. Daniel got 6 months in jail and mandatory rehab. His lawyer tried to get him off with probation, but the judge wasn't having it. Good. Your parents are blaming you. They're telling everyone you testified against him or something. It's insane. Par for the course. Emma, I want to tell you something. Okay. The night Daniel got arrested, he wasn't just driving drunk. He was on his way to your apartment. My blood ran cold. What? He told me. After I filed for divorce. He said he was going to make you pay. Make you help. He had a baseball bat in the back seat. I couldn't breathe. He was going to hurt me. I think so. I don't know for sure. But when I heard that, I knew I'd made the right choice leaving. Why are you telling me this? Because you should know. Because that restraining order might have saved your life. Because you were right to cut them off. We hung up, and I sat in silence for a long time. Daniel had been on his way to hurt me. My brother. The baby of the family. The one I'd helped raise. The one I'd given money to for years. He'd been coming to harm me because I'd finally said no. That's what my love had been worth to them. Violence. Intimidation. Control. I called Detective Chen and told her everything. She made notes. Added it to the file. Ms. Rivers, I'm recommending you get a security system for your apartment. And maybe consider a self-defense class. You think he'll come after me when he gets out? I think your family doesn't accept boundaries. And that makes them unpredictable. I took her advice. I installed cameras. A deadbolt. A Ring doorbell. I signed up for Krav Maga classes. I told my building manager about the restraining order. I gave them photos of my parents and siblings. I made myself as safe as I could. And then I started living. Really living. Not surviving. Not just existing. Living. I went on dates. Real ones, with men who asked about my day and remembered details about my life. I took a pottery class. I joined a book club. I traveled to Portland for a weekend just because I'd always wanted to see it. I made friends who didn't know about my family drama. Who liked me for me. Who didn't need anything from me except my company. I started therapy twice a week. Working through decades of conditioning. Learning what healthy relationships looked like. Understanding that I'd been groomed by my own family to accept mistreatment as love. It was hard work. Painful work. But necessary work. 3 months after the restraining order, Rebecca tried to contact me through LinkedIn. A professional message asking if we could talk. I didn't respond. She tried again through a mutual friend. The friend called me. Emma, Rebecca really wants to talk to you. She says she's sorry. She says things are bad at home. That's not my problem. She's your sister. No, she's a person who shares my DNA. A sister is someone who shows up. Someone who cares. Someone who sees you as more than a resource. She's changed. Has she? Or does she just need something? Silence. She needs money, doesn't she? Her engagement fell through. She's struggling. There it is. Emma, tell her I said no. And tell her to stop using mutual friends to violate the restraining order. 6 months after the restraining order, my mother sent me a letter. It came to my office, somehow. HR brought it to me, concerned. Should we open it? My boss asked. No. I'll give it to my lawyer. Victoria read it and laughed. Not a kind laugh. This is something. She alternates between blaming you and begging for forgiveness. She says Daniel is doing well in rehab but they can't afford the aftercare program. She says your father lost his job. She says they're losing the house. And then, get this, she says if you just send $10,000, you'll never have to hear from them again. $10,000 to make them go away forever. In writing. That's extortion. It's close. But not quite illegal. She's careful with her wording. What should I do? Nothing. She violated the restraining order by sending this. I'll file a contempt motion. The order will be extended. What if I paid them? Victoria looked at me sharply. Don't even think about it. But what if it worked? What if $10,000 actually made them leave me alone? Emma, they've taken over $43,000 from you in the past. Did that make them leave you alone? No. This won't either. This is a test. They're seeing if you'll break. If you do, they'll know they still have control. You're right. I know I am. Stay strong. The contempt hearing was quick. The judge extended the restraining order to 3 years. Threatened my mother with jail time if she contacted me again. She cried. She pleaded. She told the judge I was killing her. That she couldn't live without contact with her daughter. The judge wasn't moved. Then you should have treated her better when you had the chance. I wanted to hug that judge. 1 year after the restraining order, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Emma. A woman's voice. Older. Familiar but distant. Yes. It's your Aunt Caroline. Your mother's sister. I remembered her vaguely. She'd lived across the country my whole childhood. We'd met maybe 3 times. Hi. I'm calling because I think you should know something. Your mother's been telling the family that you're mentally ill. That you've had a breakdown. That you've cut everyone off because you're paranoid and unstable. I see. I didn't believe her. So I did some digging. I called your old neighbor. I found Michelle on Facebook. I pieced together what actually happened. Why? Because I know my sister. I know how she operates. And I wanted you to know that not everyone believes her narrative. Thank you. More than that, I wanted you to know that I'm sorry. Sorry I wasn't around when you were growing up. Sorry I didn't see what was happening. Sorry you had to handle this alone. Tears pricked my eyes. I appreciate that. Your mother won't change. Neither will your father. But you should know that you're not alone. You're not crazy. And you did the right thing. We talked for an hour. She told me about her own experience with my mother. How they'd been close as children but drifted apart. How my mother had always been competitive, jealous, manipulative. How she'd chosen to move across the country partly to get away from the family drama. I see a lot of myself in you, Caroline said. You're strong. Stronger than I was at your age. I don't always feel strong. That's how you know you are. Strong people question themselves. It's the weak ones who are always certain. After we hung up, I felt something I hadn't expected. Hope. Not hope for reconciliation with my parents. But hope that there were people in the world who could see clearly. Who wouldn't buy the lies. Who would choose truth over comfortable narratives. 18 months after the restraining order, I met someone. His name was David. He was a teacher, kind and patient and genuine. We met at a coffee shop. He spilled his latte on my laptop. Apologized profusely. Offered to buy me a new computer. I laughed and said it was waterproof. He asked me to dinner. I said yes. On our 3rd date, he asked about my family. I told him the truth. All of it. I expected him to run. Instead, he said, that must have been incredibly hard. But you got yourself out. That takes real courage. You don't think I'm cold? For cutting them off. I think you're healthy. I think you chose yourself. That's not cold. That's survival. I fell for him a little bit in that moment. We took it slow. I was scared. Scared of bringing my damage into something good. Scared of repeating patterns. Scared of mistaking kindness for love. But David was patient. He showed up consistently. He respected my boundaries. He asked before assuming. He listened when I talked about my past without trying to fix it or minimize it. He was, simply put, safe. 6 months into our relationship, he met Lisa and Victoria. My chosen family. The people who'd stood by me through everything. They grilled him over dinner. Asked him hard questions. Tested his intentions. He passed with flying colors. He's good, Lisa said after he left. Don't screw this up. I'm trying not to. You deserve this, Emma. You deserve someone who sees you. I'm starting to believe that. 2 years after the restraining order, I got a call from Detective Chen. Ms. Rivers, I wanted to give you a heads up. Your brother is being released from jail next week. My stomach dropped. Okay. He's completed his sentence and his court-mandated rehab. But I wanted you to know. To be careful. Do you think he'll come after me? I don't know. But given his history and his family's behavior, I'd recommend staying vigilant. The restraining order doesn't cover him since it was only against your parents. Should I get one against him too? You could. But it would require proof of threat or harassment. The baseball bat incident wasn't technically provable since he was arrested before reaching you. So I just have to wait and see if he tries something. Unfortunately, yes. But your security measures are good. And you can always call us if you feel threatened. I told David that night. He held me while I cried. Not from fear. From exhaustion. I'm so tired of this, I said. I just want to live my life. I just want to be free. You are free. They're the ones who are still in prison. Prison of their own making. What if he comes after me? Then we handle it. Together. You're not alone anymore, Emma. 3 weeks after Daniel's release, he showed up at my office. Security called me immediately. Ms. Rivers, your brother is in the lobby. He's requesting to see you. What should we do? My heart raced. Is he threatening anyone? No. He seems calm. But given your previous issues, we wanted to check before sending him away. I'll come down. Are you sure? Yeah. I need to do this. David wanted to come with me. I said no. This was something I needed to face alone. I took the elevator down, my hands shaking. Daniel was standing by the reception desk. He looked different. Thinner. Older. Tired. He saw me and his face changed. Not angry. Sad. Emma. You shouldn't be here. I know. I needed to see you. Why? To apologize. I crossed my arms. Okay. I'm listening. I'm sorry. For everything. For the wedding. For what I said. For the night I got arrested. For everything our parents did to you. For everything I let happen. That's a lot of solace. I've had a lot of time to think. In jail. In rehab. About my life. About how I got here. About the choices I made. And I realized something. You were the only one who ever really loved me. The only one who tried to help without strings attached. And I threw it away. I threw you away because you wouldn't enable me anymore. That's true. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know that I know. I know what I did. I know what we all did. And I'm sorry. I studied his face. Looking for the lie. The manipulation. The angle. I didn't see it. What do you want, Daniel? Nothing. I swear. I'm not here to ask for money or help or reconciliation. I'm here because my therapist said I needed to make amends. Not for you. For me. So I can move forward. How's that going? The moving forward? Hard. I'm living in a sober house. Working at a grocery store. Going to meetings. Trying to figure out who I am without alcohol. And Mom and Dad. His face darkened. I don't talk to them. What? I cut them off. 3 months ago. When I realized they were part of my problem. That they'd been enabling me for years. That they'd rather keep me dependent than see me healthy. How'd they take that? About as well as you'd expect. Mom showed up at the sober house twice. They banned her from the property. Dad keeps calling, leaving voicemails about how I'm abandoning the family. Ironic. Yeah. We stood in awkward silence for a moment. I don't forgive you, I said finally. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I understand. But I'm glad you're getting help. I'm glad you're sober. I'm glad you figured out what I figured out about our family. That they're toxic. That love shouldn't hurt this much. He nodded. Can I ask you something? He said. Sure. Are you happy? I thought about my answer. About my life now. David. My job. My friends. My therapy. My freedom. Yes. I'm happy. Good. You deserve that. He turned to leave. Daniel. He looked back. If you stay sober. If you do the work. If you become someone different than who you were, maybe we can talk again. Not now. But someday. His eyes filled with tears. I'd like that. But if you relapse. If you go back to them. If you try to hurt me again. We're done forever. Understand? I understand. He left. I went back upstairs, shaking. Lisa found me in the bathroom, crying. What happened? My brother came. Oh my God. Are you okay? Did he threaten you? No. He apologized. He's sober. He's cut off our parents. Do you believe him? I don't know. I want to. But I've been burned so many times. Then don't decide now. Give it time. See if his actions match his words. When did you get so wise? When I met you and realized that you needed someone to tell you the truth, not what you wanted to hear. I laughed through my tears. Thank you. Always. 2.5 years after the restraining order, it expired. My parents could legally contact me again. I waited for the flood. The calls. The emails. The attempts at manipulation. Nothing came. 1 week passed. Then 2. Then a month. Finally, curiosity got the better of me. I searched for my mother on Facebook. Her profile was still there, but it was sparse. No recent posts. No photos. No updates. I searched for my father. He'd never had social media. I called Aunt Caroline. Have you heard from my mom lately? Not in months. Why? The restraining order expired. I thought she'd come after me immediately. Oh honey. You haven't heard. Heard what? Your parents lost the house. They filed for bankruptcy. Your father had a heart attack 6 months ago. Nothing major, but it scared him. Last I heard, they'd moved into a small apartment across town. Your mother's working retail. Your father's on disability. Oh. I think they finally ran out of people to use. Rebecca moved to California with some new boyfriend. Daniel won't talk to them. Michelle obviously won't help. All the family friends they burned bridges with. All the people they alienated with their behavior. There's no one left. That's sad. Is it? They made their choices. They pushed away everyone who tried to love them because love wasn't enough. They wanted control. Now they have nothing. Do you think I should reach out? Do you want to? No. Then don't. You don't owe them anything. Not even pity. She was right. I didn't reach out. I didn't send money. I didn't offer help. I let them live with the consequences of their choices, the same way I'd had to live with mine. 3 years after the restraining order, David proposed. We were at the coffee shop where we met. He'd arranged for them to recreate the latte spilling incident. When I looked down at my ruined laptop, there was a ring box on the keyboard. I promise I'll be more careful with your things going forward, he said, smiling. And your heart. And your trust. If you'll let me. I said yes through happy tears. We planned a small wedding. Just close friends. David's family, who'd welcomed me with open arms. Lisa as my maid of honor. Victoria as a guest. Aunt Caroline flew out for it. Daniel sent a card and a gift. He'd been sober for 18 months. He didn't ask to come. He just said he was proud of me. I didn't invite my parents. I didn't tell them it was happening. It was my day. My joy. Mine to share with people who'd earned the right to be there. The wedding was perfect. Small and intimate and full of love. Real love. The kind that doesn't come with conditions or strings or price tags. During the reception, Lisa gave a speech. I've known Emma for 6 years. And in that time, I've watched her transform from someone who gave everything to people who gave nothing back, to someone who knows her worth. Who protects her peace. Who chooses herself. Emma, you taught me that it's okay to cut off people who hurt you, even if they're family. That blood doesn't obligate you to accept abuse. That you can build a new family from the people who show up for you. I'm honored to be part of your chosen family. And David, you better treat her right or you'll answer to me. Everyone laughed. David squeezed my hand. I plan to spend every day earning the privilege of being chosen by her, he said. That night, as we drove to the hotel, David asked, do you think they know? About the wedding? Probably. Small town. People talk. How do you feel about that? I feel nothing. They're not part of my life anymore. They're not part of this joy. And that's okay. No regrets. Not one. And I meant it. 4 years after the restraining order, I got a call from a hospital. My father had another heart attack. This one major. He was in ICU. My mother had listed me as emergency contact. Are you able to come? The nurse asked. No. He's asking for you. I'm sorry. I can't. He might not have much time. I understand. But I still can't. I hung up feeling nothing. Not anger. Not sadness. Just neutrality. David found me on the couch. Who was that? I told him. Do you want to go? No. Are you sure? I'm sure. He had 28 years to be a father to me. To see me. To choose me. He didn't. Now he's facing death and suddenly he wants me there. For what? To absolve him? To make him feel better? That's not my job. You don't owe him a deathbed reconciliation. I know. But if you do want to go, I'll go with you. I know that too. That's why I love you. My father died 2 days later. My mother left me a voicemail. Your father is gone. He asked for you at the end. But you couldn't be bothered to show up. I hope you can live with that. I could. I did. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't send flowers. I didn't reach out to my mother. I lit a candle that night. Not for him. For the little girl I used to be. The one who thought she wasn't good enough. The one who tried so hard to earn love that was never coming. The one who finally realized she deserved better. Rest now, I whispered. You don't have to try anymore. 5 years after the restraining order, I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop when I saw her. My mother. She looked old. So much older than she should. Her hair was completely grey. Her face was lined and worn. She was wearing clothes that had seen better days. She was alone. She didn't see me at first. I could have left. Could have slipped out the back door. But I didn't. I watched her order a small coffee. Count out change to pay for it. Sit at a table by herself. Stare out the window with the saddest expression I'd ever seen. I don't know what possessed me to walk over. Maybe curiosity. Maybe pity. Maybe some small part of me that still remembered loving her. Mom. She looked up, startled. Her face went through a dozen emotions. Shock. Hope. Fear. Shame. Emma. Can I sit? Yes. Please. I sat across from her, my coffee in hand. We stared at each other for a long moment. You look good, she said finally. Happy. I am. I heard you got married. I did. I wasn't invited. No. I suppose I deserved that. You did. She flinched but nodded. Your father died. I know. You didn't come. No. He wanted to see you. At the end. He said he was sorry. That's good. I hope he meant it. You don't care, do you? That he's gone. I cared once. A long time ago. But you can only hurt someone so many times before the caring dies. I lost you. Both you and Daniel. Rebecca won't speak to me unless she needs money. I'm alone. That's what happens when you treat people like resources instead of human beings. I know that now. Do you? Or are you just alone and desperate? She started crying. Quiet, broken tears. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm so sorry for everything. I was a terrible mother. I know that now. I favored your siblings. I used you. I manipulated you. I tried to destroy you when you wouldn't let me control you anymore. I'm sorry. I waited. Waited to feel something. Anger. Satisfaction. Vindication. I felt none of it. Thank you for saying that. Can you forgive me? I already have. She looked up, hope sparking in her eyes. You have? Yes. I forgave you years ago. Not for you. For me. Because I needed to let go of the anger to move forward. Then can we start over? No. The hope died. Why not? Because forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean I let you back into my life. It just means I don't carry hatred for you anymore. But I'm your mother. You were. You stopped being my mother when you chose money over a relationship with me. When you tried to ruin my career. When you lied to me about Daniel. When you made me the villain for setting boundaries. I've changed. Maybe you have. But it's too late. I've built a life without you. A good life. A healthy life. And I'm not going to risk it. So this is it. This is goodbye forever. This is me being honest. You can't love someone you don't know. And you never knew me. You never wanted to. You wanted a version of me that served your purposes. That version doesn't exist anymore. I stood up. I hope you find peace, Mom. I really do. I hope you learn from your mistakes. I hope you become someone who can have healthy relationships. But that's not my problem to solve anymore. Emma, please, goodbye, Mom. I walked out of the coffee shop. I didn't look back. I didn't cry. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. Completely, utterly free. That night, David asked me about it. How do you feel? Relieved. Like I closed a door that's been open for too long. No second thoughts. None. I gave her 28 years to be my mother. She chose not to. That's on her, not me. You're amazing, you know that. I'm just someone who finally learned to choose herself. That's what makes you amazing. 6 years after the restraining order, Daniel got married. To a woman he met in AA. A woman who knew his history and loved him anyway. He called to tell me. I'm getting married. Next month. Small ceremony. Just close friends and people from the program. I wanted to invite you. But I understand if you can't come. I'll think about it. That's more than I deserve. Thank you. I talked it over with David and Victoria and Lisa. They all said the same thing. What does your gut tell you? My gut said yes. So I went. The ceremony was at a community center. Simple and sincere. Daniel looked healthy, happy. When he saw me, he cried. You came. I did. Thank you. That means everything. Don't make me regret it. I won't. I promise. I met his wife, Sarah. She was kind and genuine. We talked for a while. Daniel's told me everything, she said. About his past. About his family. About what he did to you. That must have been hard to hear. It was. But I believe in second chances. And I've seen how hard he's worked to become a better person. I hope he makes you happy. He does. And I hope one day, you too can rebuild something. Not what you had before. But something new. Maybe. Daniel and I talked briefly at the reception. Mom tried to come, he said. I figured she would. Sarah's brother stopped her at the door. Security. How is she? Not good. She's bitter. Angry. Blames everyone but herself. I tried to talk to her. To explain that we needed to set boundaries for our own health. She called me brainwashed. Sounds about right. Do you ever think about what it would take? For us to have a relationship again? Time. Consistency. Proof that you're different. Not words. Actions. I can do that. We'll see. But I left his wedding feeling something I hadn't expected. Hope. Not for my parents. But for Daniel. For the possibility that people could change if they did the work. 7 years after the restraining order, I was pregnant. A little girl. David and I were terrified and excited and overwhelmed. We talked about family. About what we'd do differently. About the kind of parents we wanted to be. What if she asks about your parents? David said one night. I'll tell her the truth. That sometimes, families are broken. That sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do is walk away. That love should never hurt. What if they try to contact her when she's older? We'll deal with it then. But I won't let them hurt her the way they hurt me. You're going to be an amazing mother. How do you know? Because you know exactly what not to do. Our daughter was born on a Tuesday in March. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. We named her Claire. After no one in particular. Because she was ours. Not a continuation of a family legacy. Not a peace offering to grandparents who didn't deserve the title. Just ours. Lisa and Victoria came to meet her. Aunt Caroline flew in. Daniel sent a gift and a card. My mother somehow found out. She sent flowers to the hospital with a card. Congratulations on your baby girl. I'm sorry for everything. I hope one day you'll let me meet my granddaughter. Love, Mom. I threw the card away. Donated the flowers to the nurse's station. I didn't respond. Claire would never know her. Not because I was punishing my mother, but because I was protecting my daughter. 8 years after the restraining order, I was at the grocery store with Claire. She was 3, chattering away about everything and nothing. I turned down the cereal aisle and froze. My mother was standing 10 feet away. She saw us at the same time. Her eyes went straight to Claire. I watched her face crumple. Watched her see her granddaughter for the first time. Watched her realize what she'd lost. Claire tugged on my hand. "Mama, who's that lady?" "No one, sweetheart." My mother took a step forward. "Emma, don't. Please. I just want to see her. Just for a moment." "No. She's my granddaughter." "No, she's my daughter. And you're a stranger." "Emma, please. I've changed. I've been in therapy. I've worked on myself. Please give me a chance." Claire hid behind my legs. "Mama, I'm scared." That did it. My daughter was scared. Because of my mother. Because of the desperation and pain rolling off her in waves. "Stay away from us. Emma, I mean it. If you come near me or my daughter again, I'll call the police. I'll get another restraining order. I'll do whatever it takes to keep her safe from you. I would never hurt her. You hurt me. For 28 years. You're not getting the chance to hurt her too." I picked up Claire and walked away. My mother's sobs followed us down the aisle. Claire was quiet in the car. "Mama, why was that lady crying?" "Because she made bad choices. And now she's sad about them. Why doesn't she just say sorry?" "She did. But sometimes sorry isn't enough." "Oh." She went back to chattering about princesses and dinosaurs. I drove home with tears on my face. Not for my mother. For myself. For the woman I'd become. Strong enough to protect my daughter from the pain I'd endured. Wise enough to know that some doors should stay closed. Brave enough to walk away even when it hurt. 9 years after the restraining order, I got a call from Aunt Caroline. "Your mother had a stroke. Is she okay?" "She will be. But she's asking for you." "I'm not going." "I figured. But I promised I'd tell you." "Thank you." "Emma, I want you to know something." "What?" "You made the right choice. All those years ago. Cutting them off. Protecting yourself. I've watched your mother these past few years. She hasn't changed. Not really. She's just run out of options. The therapy she mentioned. She went to 2 sessions and quit because the therapist called her out. She's still the same person. Just older and more desperate. Thanks for telling me. You've built a beautiful life. Don't let guilt pull you back into that darkness." "I won't." 10 years after the restraining order, Daniel called. "Hey, Emma. Hey. I'm calling because, well, I'm 10 years sober today." "Daniel, that's amazing. Thank you. And I wanted to tell you because you're part of this milestone. Even though we don't talk much, knowing that you believed I could change, even a little bit, gave me hope. I'm proud of you. That means a lot. Also, Sarah and I are having a baby. Congratulations." "Thanks. And Emma, I want you to know that I'm going to do better. Be better. I'm going to break the cycle. My kid is going to grow up in a house where love isn't conditional. Where boundaries are respected. Where people say sorry and mean it. That's all any of us can do. I learned that from you. From watching you walk away when you needed to. From seeing you choose yourself. You showed me it was possible." After we hung up, I sat on my porch and watched Claire play in the yard. She was happy. Secure. Loved. She knew without question that she was valued. That her needs mattered. That she didn't have to earn affection. David came out and sat next to me. "What are you thinking about?" "About cycles. About breaking them. About how the best revenge isn't hurting the people who hurt you." "What is it then?" "Living well. Being happy. Refusing to pass on the pain. You've done that. We've done that." He kissed my forehead. "I'm proud of you, you know." "For what?" "For surviving. For thriving. For becoming someone who knows her worth." It took a long time. The best things usually do. 15 years after the restraining order, I got a call from a lawyer. My mother had died. Heart attack. In her sleep. I was listed as next of kin. There was no estate to speak of. Just debts. And one box of personal items. I declined to claim the body. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't cry. I felt nothing. Just closure. A chapter ending. A door closing for the final time. The lawyer sent me the box. Inside were photos. Old ones. Of me as a baby. As a toddler. As a child. In every photo, I was smiling. Happy. Innocent. Before I learned that love was something you had to buy. There was also a letter. Dated a week before she died. Dear Emma, I know you won't read this. You probably won't even open the box. But I need to write it anyway. You were right. About everything. I was a terrible mother. I used you. I manipulated you. I chose your siblings over you again and again. I made you believe you weren't enough when the truth is, you were always too good for us. I'm sorry. I know it's too late. I know sorry doesn't fix anything. But I needed to say it one more time. You deserved better. You deserved a mother who saw you. Who celebrated you. Who loved you without conditions. I wasn't capable of being that person. I hope you've found happiness. I hope you've found peace. I hope you've become everything I couldn't be. I'm proud of you, Emma. Even if I never told you. Even if I never showed it. I'm proud. Goodbye, my daughter. Mom. I read it twice. Then I put it back in the box. I didn't cry. Didn't rage. Didn't feel the vindication I thought I might. I just felt sad. Sad for her. Sad for what?